Are you ready to make sure you're getting the quickest time to value out of your iManage solutions? We know that our most successful customers involve their key end-user stakeholders early on in design decisions to ensure end-user workflows are accounted for so that by the time your launch day arrives, you are on your way to validating your ROI. A critical phase in your deployment is user acceptance testing, known as UAT, where your champion end users will not only get an opportunity to get their hands on the new system, but also assess its impact on how they will get their job done from a day-to-day perspective. The outcomes of UAT will also drive and influence success factors like your change program, communications, training, and future adoption initiatives. Ultimately, the main objective of UAT is to validate all the hard work the organization has done in the design and workflow analysis of your users. So how do you prepare for UAT success? Let's break it down into 5 steps. By now, you should have your business goals and success outcomes clearly defined. For example, your initial goal may be for all your users to be working and getting value on day 1 of launch. Keep those in mind as you move to the UAT phase. UAT should be testing design decisions, third-party integrations, custom workflows, as well as validating migration and upgrades which are taking place. A comprehensive test or QA plan is key. UAT is not functional or performance testing, rather it should test if the design will actually help users do the job they need to do. For example, does it save the document is not a good UAT test. Rather, can an attorney easily incorporate comments from opposing counsel and save to iManage as a new version is a real-world scenario that users will encounter. To that end, test scripts will need to be created. These are what UAT testers will actually run through and use to carry out their testing. If this expertise is needed, your implementation partner can help you with sample test scripts and guidance. But making sure tests cover all applicable functionality and third-party integration is vitally important. Planning also involves when users are going to test. We know it can be difficult to set aside time for UAT, especially when life gets in the way. Here's what some of our most successful customers have done to help with planning time. They have blocked time on certain days so that testers are aware of their role, expectations, and responsibilities. Our customers have found it advantageous to divide the testing by work process instead of having each user test everything. For example, one day could be devoted to testing a certain workflow, and another day could be devoted entirely to testing a different workflow. This will help ensure that each tester only tests what they are responsible for at their designated testing time. Next, our most successful customers think about where their testing is going to take place. It might be tempting to use a development or sandbox environment, but remember, you're testing the functionality based on real-world scenarios of your iManage system here. That's the system you should be using. iManage recommends creating test workspaces with real documents in your production environment. Our most successful customers select the right group of users. We know it's tempting to choose the most forward-thinking and tech-savvy users in your organization, and they can certainly be involved. But UAT users must be representative of your wider user base in order to help you support your change program. You should select users from a variety of teams, departments, geographies, seniorities, and roles, and especially those who may not be as forward-thinking or eager. As users are selected, it's valuable to ensure you have representation for validating all workflows and applications are covered. For example, if you have Macs in your organization, make sure you have Mac users in your UAT team. If you're struggling to know who to select, take a look at some email distribution lists for lawyers or proactively suggest to a user raising a support ticket so they could join the team. With your users selected, it's time for communication, plan validation, and training. The UAT team will need training on the system they are testing ahead of running their tests. It's recommended that the training be instructor-led and contain a hands-on component. The hands-on should be in your iManage environment and cover any third-party applications that you have integrated with iManage. By validating the communications plan and training outlines with your UAT users, it allows your organization to fine-tune these components while also preparing for additional FAQs that may not have been previously considered. The end of UAT planning is just the beginning of the UAT piece of your project. Next, your testers will run the tests and provide feedback. This will be used later for tweaking of system design and further change planning. For now, happy planning! For more information about iManage Cloud resources and how iManage can make knowledge work for you, visit help.imanage.com.